That is 18:34, 26 minutes up before 7. The music of Jonathan featuring Rudo, track titled Danda Yere as well. Welcome to The Business Coach, a program that we get to bring to you every Sunday from 6:30 till 7. And we talk nothing but business. And this evening in the studio, I'm joined in by a man who was with us last week. And Ophir was just telling me that I'm just coming out of town, and I feel I needed a bit of time to rest, but because of the nature of the program, he says, no, I gotta commit myself to do this. Thank you so much for allowing yourself to be part and parcel of the show this evening. And I'm talking about Coach Tafi Tafadzwa Mukoi. Good evening and welcome to Business Coach.
Good evening. Thank you so much, my brother, for hosting me once again.
Wonderful to have you here, and as always, I believe come the end of the program we would have acquired knowledge from your resources. You see, one thing that you must understand is that in a man are resources, because a man should be resourceful.
Absolutely.
So you have to tune your mind to focus on what it is that you want to get out of what God has given you and out of what the world is offering. You see, because there are two things that you can do. Either you can sit back and let the world crush you, or you can say, no, I've had enough. I got to step out of this zone and be the man that I can be. You see, there's never a line that has ever been told of a man who has tried and people have dissed him and said, no, this man tried to sell bread and he failed. He tried to sell milk and he failed. Let the world condemn you, but you know what you're striving to be tomorrow. You gotta have your own vision. And you got to know where you're going, because say for instance, if you're a businessman, it means you have got a family also that depends on you. You have workers that depend on you. So that vision is what you have to continue to hold on to, and this is the reason why we continue to bring this program, so that we can both get to understand the dynamics of business. Here's a man who has been anointed to activate potential, a pioneer of thought-provoking and life-transforming ideas that help individuals. And I believe this evening the individuals who are listening to this program who will be helped by this program that you have just tuned into. It is Business Coach. He's a motivational speaker and entrepreneur, as well as an author. Last week we shared on the program that he's coming up with a new book, and we hope to get our hands on that book once it's out, so that we can also get to digest what he has written for us. All right, let's get straight into the program. We want to look at the business market per se, but first things first is we want to look at our homegrown business. And last week we saw the introduction of the bond note into the market. What is the society saying, concerning that? And have you had any issues with the trading of the bond note?
Okay, well, thank you so much, Eddie. I think I really fell in love with your conversation as you started, where you were talking about that every man has been given resources.
Yes.
And I couldn't help but, quickly dig deep into the archives of the little knowledge that I have to say, I wonder where Eddie's going to take this discussion tonight. And so, I hope we have the time to discuss this later on. But, as a coach, I believe there are 4 E's that everybody has that can be used as resources.
Yes.
There's energy, there is expertise, there is experience, and then there is exposure as resources that you deploy in achieving the things that you want to do. But I'll go straight to the first question you asked me, to say I couldn't just ignore that. That's powerful, brother. But you see, bond notes, you know what, I I had an amazing opportunity. My 16-year-old daughter has just got her driver's license.
Wow,
and
congrats,
and it was exciting that I took her to the VID. And as we were walking out, I saw this young man who was selling vegetables. He was selling fruits actually, and he was promoting his wares in an amazing way. He says to me,
Yes.
you know, yesterday, last week, we were talking at the end, we were saying that if you don't have anything of value, you will not even collect those bond notes.
For sure. Because you remember you gave an example of that company that wants that 100-day challenge to
Absolutely.
come up. Yes.
Absolutely. 100,000 in 100 days.
Yes.
Unless you have something of value. To date, I think the first day I saw a couple of WhatsApp, social media, saying a few things. But generally, I have seen that there has been an acceptance of the bond notes. Those who are providing something of value are collecting them, and those who do not have not even seen what the bond notes look like. And so, you know, my brother, I think that this is a fantastic follow-up in terms of as a coach. I'm quick to ask people, is that it's already been 6 days that these bond notes have been in circulation, and so what is it that you have of value that you can be able to translate into cash? Now, the amazing thing is this, my brother, when I coach people, is that I have a tool that I use that, you know, I'm not too sure if I share it on radio, people come to me. But anyway, let me do it. You know, in life, you've got to ask yourself a number of questions as a business person. Is that for me, Eddie, I ask myself, do I have something that I will sell for 10 cents? Do I have something that I can sell for $1? And from then on, I'm just putting zeros to the one. For $1, for $10, for $100, for $1,000, 10,000, even $100,000. And you can also do the same thing. The problem is that we only have the mindset to want to make a big deal once and go.
Yes.
But if you look at some of the big corporates, and unfortunately we can't say names here, but you know, if you look at the big corporates, particularly in the beverage section of business, you'll find they'll be able to have their beverages in 500 mils, 200 mils, 300 mils, 340 mils, 500 mils, 1 liter, 2 liters. Because what that is value to meet different market sizes and market demands. And so if you want to have the bond notes, how many products do you have that will attract different levels of the community and the different pocket sizes? Because that's what we're always fighting for. We're always fighting for the pocket size. You know, it's called pocket share. Because you want to have a share of what is in my pocket. So that's my response and my what I've seen regarding the bond notes.
Wonderful. You know, let me take you to Friday. Friday, I happened to be in the bank, and I was hoping that you know, I would get service like within an hour or so. So what then happened is that people were queuing at the ATM, and the US dollar ran out of from the ATM, and everyone now had to come into the branch, to the main branch, to wait for the bond note. So I tell you what, from the people that were in the queue, the minute that they had that the bank now, the tellers were only dispensing bond note, 50% of those people left. And then I started asking myself, so if they are leaving, does this mean that they don't need to have their hands with the 40 or 50 bond note that the bank is giving, or they are comfortable with coming back again to wait for the US dollar? You see, because the issue here is that bond or US dollar, it is still a note that you can use to buy. Like you said, this is the brother who is selling, he's branding his business by saying, come.
Absolutely.
You know, I will take anything that you got.
Yeah.
You see. So what if you then come back tomorrow, you wait, and there's nothing. You come back tomorrow, and then holiday will come. You don't have anything in your pocket.
Well, let me tell you something, Eddie. You know, the amazing thing about life is that if we continue watching what people are doing, what markets are saying, ignorant or avoiding your own current challenge or status, you will miss the mark.
Yes, you'll be left behind.
Some of these guys were probably standing in there because what they want is the US dollar.
Yes.
And they're probably not even spending it. They are probably keeping that money for whatever reason that they are keeping it. So in terms of what their business strategy says, is that I'd rather have what I want than not have it at all. But for you and I, who are probably looking for monies to transact in terms of groceries, in terms of bus fares, and fuel, these are the areas that we've been seeing the bond note being accepted.
Yes.
So for people to leave, I wish I was in that bank. I would ask if I could get more of those bond notes for myself because I want the bond note.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so many people have failed, my brother, where they're looking next door because it's always green on the other side. There was a season actually when I would go into one of the banks and then they didn't have the US dollar. And they would have the rand. I would collect because it is a currency. But then again, the interesting thing is that there comes a time where certain people won't even collect because there's nothing in the bank. So my advice is that people have got different strategies in terms of business. You must understand what yours is and then you execute on it.
Right, 50 minutes before 7 at the time. The program is the Business Coach. Now we want to take a detour and look at the world markets, and we want to look at Africa as a continent, what other countries are doing, how they are performing. You see, because a lot of people want to look at Zimbabwe and say, "Wow, your economy is bad." But let me tell you something. Here's a story that we picked up from Nigeria, and they said that the Nigerian economy needs major radical surgery. The Nigeria's finance minister says the economy needs major radical surgery to overcome the present economic challenges. And she was speaking at an economic outlook event that was held in Lagos. What is your take at the people that always, especially the local folks, that look down on their own nation and say that other countries are doing well, but here's a story, that was talked about at a forum where it was not just any person who was talking about, but was sharing this, but it was the finance minister who said that there is need, for serious injection here, otherwise they're going to lose it. The same thing that is being also preached here in Zimbabwe by our finance minister, Patrick Chinamasa. He's been saying the same thing,
Eddie, I strongly believe in an analysis of where you are. As a coach, it is important to identify where you are. Where I'll differ is the language that you use to describe your situation. To say a radical surgery, those words are powerful because sometimes you go through what is called paralysis by analysis.
Yes.
And so I'm always of opinion that when you have identified where you are, you then strategize where you want to go. Because many people fail at that stage and it becomes a status quo issue, that they enjoy being where they are because it is comfortable to wail and complain, yet it is scary to take on the next step. So it is my opinion that when you look at Nigeria, when you look at Africa as a whole, we are blessed.
True that.
We are so blessed that we have the attention of the people that have money. And the question is, now that we've identified where we are, what resources, you started off the conversation with the resources.
Yes.
What resources can we employ so that we can be able to attract that money? Eddie, I'm not that kind of guy who wants to be always wailing where he is. It is important to identify where you are. But you know what? There's a global market out there. There's a local market out there. Like I said, I just came in and I'm coming from the seventh wonder of the world, and I promise you that place was packed. Things are happening. On my way here, the airplane I was in was packed. Things are happening. But the thing is that how can you attract that money that you want for yourself? But I also understand when is the Nigerian minister talking about its people? Is he talking about the markets? Is he talking about the production levels? What is it that needs a major surgical or major radical surgical approach? So I believe in a situation where we identify the challenge, not problem. Did you hear my words?
Yes.
I didn't say problem. I said challenge.
Yes.
Identify the challenge, because what a challenge does, it inspires you, and what a problem does, it paralyzes you.
Yes.
So that's my opinion. Is to say, in actual fact, on our way here, we had quite a bumpy landing as we were coming into Harare. It was
because
very
of the weather.
Oh, the weather changed. It was
Yes.
blistering hot in Victoria Falls and bumpy, and I couldn't. I just began to imagine if the pilot said, "Oh my word, this is bumpy and I cannot do it. Let me just put my hands off this and let's just let fate take its toll." I wouldn't have been here with you, and I'm grateful to that pilot. And we are pilots of our economies. Where when we are going through bumpy patches, we should be able to persevere, utilize the resources we have, the expertise, the knowledge, and even have faith, have the right attitude. This is my view. And you know what? We are very young economies. Yes. Sometimes when we paralyze ourselves, we're actually paralyzing the future generations. Because we're only 36 years old, my brother. 36 years old. And we are going through challenges. We have a bright future. For me, my view is that our future is so bright, I may need to buy shades. That's how bright our future is.
Yeah.
The thing is that, do we have the opportunity mindset, and are we able to optimize on our opportunities? I'll tell you one thing for Zimbabwe, for example. Guys, we are super learned. I was excited that one of our ministries is now thinking about exporting our intelligence.
Wow.
That's a resource. Is that we've got teachers, we've got doctors, we've got all these qualified people. Can we not just take that resource and then get paid here, and we pay them somehow, and we get money?
Talking of which, I happened to be at my university graduation ceremony where the HE was, and the vice chancellor of that university was saying to the HE that, seeing as we have a lot of students that are graduating,
Right.
and if we're going to export them, we also need that 5% retention.
Absolutely. and I'm happy with that.
Yes.
Let's export them, let them get the 5% for the bond notes. I mean, this is amazing. We have an amazing resource. But let me tell you what the challenge has been. My brother, you're now starting something that I am very passionate about. The challenge is that our mindset is that, we want to be employed, not to employ the resources we have.
You see, because I was going to come back to resources here, because look at our nation, look at the laws that we have been given. These laws support the local folks. You can walk in at any ministry and say, this is what I want to do, and you are given the first preference, you see.
Right.
But we are not using that. We are waiting for some folks to come in so that they take over the companies and then they employ us. In that sense, yesterday I was talking to someone. I attended a church conference, and this guy then took me here and we were talking, and he was saying, I'm afraid, because the way that we are trying to push, to say, let's have more of these foreign companies coming through. But do we know what is going to happen once they are here?
Yeah.
You see, it's good that, yes, they will bring in money, not resources. Remember, resources are here.
Yes.
They're only bringing in money.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
But the minute they bring in the money, they want now to, say they are now leading. They will lead you because they do not want to hear what you have to say. Because they say, the man who has the money is the one who is the boss.
Oh, absolutely. I'll control my money. It's my money, for crying out loud.
You see.
Yeah.
So, let's continue to use... In fact, let's continue. Let's take advantage of the time that we are in right now.
Right.
Develop ourselves.
Yeah.
See what you can do with the $10 that you have, with the
Right.
$20 that you have. On your introduction, you spoke about that guy who was selling tomatis.
Yes.
You see, this is what he has started to focus on. But tell you what, let's go back to that man 2 years or 3 years later and look at where he will be. We'll be shocked. He will still be here, doing the same thing. And yet this man will be having companies, or let alone farms,
Right.
where he's now doing this on a large scale than where he is right now. Right now, he's probably just going to Mbare and then he orders wholesale price and then resells.
Right.
But he's getting his 2 cents.
Right.
You see? But you're waiting to say, I need to be employed.
Now, let me tell you something, my brother. My 11-year-old son has got a company.
Okay.
and he started it last year. It's called Adventure Animation. Now, I only brought out the name for me to explain why.
Okay.
This boy is an amazing artist.
He's taking after the dad, obviously.
Well, you know what? He's blessed that I can coach him.
Okay.
But the thing is that the young man can draw. This is his thought process. How many companies in Zimbabwe are drawing cartoon books? We are busy drawing cartoons for Cinderella. That's not Zimbabwean designs or images. But then again, he asked me a question, Daddy. You know, I'm always playing video games. Where are the Zimbabwean video games?
Okay.
I'm telling you, video games, just everybody's playing a video game. Imagine we could play solitaire. It's a Zimbabwean version.
Yes. That's deep, man.
I'm telling you. Imagine we were playing games and they're Zimbabwean games. We have the resource. You know, all we need to do, and I love this concept. It's called copyright. The right to copy. Some things you just look at, you model for your own benefit. If you see that there is something that is working on television, why will you not make it a Zimbabwean one? I mean, this, it's not because my son is doing it, but you know, there've been guys that have tried to do this, and I urge them on, who have tried to do animation, who've tried to do cartoons, who are trying to do books, who are trying to do video things that are Zimbabwean. Come on, guys, Zimbabwe, we can do it, and we can translate it. We can translate it into Mandarin. We can translate it into French, into all these other languages. But let's build it from here, and then we can make money.
True that. It is 4 minutes before 7. The station is ZBC SFM. The program being Business Coach. In the studio, Coach Tafadzwa Mokoi. There is a quotation, a quote that I came across earlier in the day, and it says that don't educate your children to be rich. Educate them to be happy, so when they grow up, they will know the value of things, not the price.
Right.
And I was looking at the case study of your son here.
Right.
You see, you're not educating him so that he can put value on a price tag, you know, on the program. Right. But you want him to recognize the value that the program will bring to whoever is going to get it. You see,
100%.
And you know, I want us to drive at the stock market,
right.
our own stock market, Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. How many people, you know, have shares?
You know, that's a very interesting question.
Yes.
But you know, how many people understand that they have the right to get a share?
Yes.
You know, there are things that are available for Zimbabweans that they're not taking advantage of. And there are people who are sitting on money right now. You know, imagine I leave my child with the top stock right now, and I leave, say, 1,000 shares for them.
Yes.
It's a piece of a company. You remember last time we were sharing that you can sell your company in multiple ways. Number 1 is a franchise. Number 2 is a share. Number 3 with the products and services, and then an outright sell. So if you also, so the truth is the same when you're buying. You can buy and own a company by shares.
Yes.
And it's something that we don't think about, because we want to have a system where we are holding onto the money. The challenge with Zimbabweans, I'll tell you really quick, is that we want to have control. You don't have to have control. You can own and have a dividend and employ your resources elsewhere, because there is a value, not a price.
And you're better off as a silent partner. You know, you have your 1 million shares that you possibly bought for what, $10,000 or even $1,000 US. You can buy.
Can I tell you something? You know, on my way out of town, it seems like you're with our conversation. Somebody came to me and they said, and I love the concept, is to say it's better to have a 1% of an elephant than to have a whole mouse. And he said, he used an example of Warren Buffett, that he only has 5% of Coca-Cola. And how big is that? What about you? Why won't you get a percentage of something that is big?
How many companies do we have right here that need your support? You know, just going to invest your $100 can change, you know, the direction of that company. And you see, unfortunately, time not being on our side, we'll continue this discussion.
This is amazing. This is an amazing discussion.
I sense that this is not just us trying to, come up with this message here, coming up with measures that can improve and help you move on from where you are. You see, one thing that you must always do is acknowledge that God is the one who directs us.
Absolutely.
You see, if it was our own accord, you know what we'll be busy doing? We'll just be busy talking about our brands, busy talking about our